Begin with, we have this concept of the people from other planets as little green men. Are they green from what you know? Are they all the same?
Unfortunately, they're not so benevolent.
A fucking alien.
What's good? Welcome here, 51 here with your host Jimmy. Another day in the jungle. Give us a like, subscribe, and also become part of our community if you like what you hear here. And visit our webpage, goldenroundboxing.com, for more news, stories, and information related with boxing and history. All right, so let's talk about this story. I was a little bit hesitant, to be honest, about reporting about this story because I do know people who know Terrence Crawford. In fact, I had Steven Nelson here. He's the director in the academy where Crawford trains in Omaha. And actually, I interviewed him as well a few times. And last time I interviewed him, apparently the negotiations were, kind of stalled. And it's pretty much because, Errol Spence didn't want to, concede and give Crawford transparency with his contract and expenses, which is something that you should do, especially when you're getting the higher bid and you're giving the other guy, Terrence Crawford, 35%, which is pretty low. And you're not even guaranteeing him the purse, but you can do that with Ugas. Okay, so people have been reporting about this, and now what the rumor is, and you have it here, it says that Michael Benson said that Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford is going to be for the undisputed WBA, IBF, WBC, and WBO welterweight world titles. Is now set for June 17 in Las Vegas. It's claimed, so it's a claim. The official announcement is expected at Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia on April 22nd, according to Ring Magazine. Okay, so according to Ring Magazine, Michael Benson is reporting that this story is true. And I have a lot of doubts about this because Ring Magazine was also saying back in the day that Underwood and Golovkin had already settled a fight. It never happened. It stated that Mikey versus Lomachenko was also going to happen. Never happened. And as we all know, Usyk versus Fury, which is a fight that we all claimed, that at least we wanted to for Undisputed, never happened. For the same reasons, this fight is not happening. Now, I have my doubts about this fight for a bunch of reasons. I don't really know if this is true or not, so I'm not putting my hopes up. And if you're a boxing fan and you know how boxing is working or the outcomes of boxing today, you should be skeptical as well. But not long ago, about a week ago, Calvin Watkins had said that contract talks had restarted for an undisputed welterweight title fight between De Soto's Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, according to a person with knowledge of the talks. And this was at Sports Day, DFW. Okay. Frankly, I am not going to believe this till I see it in a contract, but I have my doubts. None of these claims, remember it's a claim, is saying what's going to happen between the fight of Errol Spence Jr. and Keith Thurman. This is the fight that PBC wanted to give Errol Spence, Keith Thurman. And this is the fight that it was reported on January that was on the making. So where is Keith Thurman out of the equation? Now, I heard some reports that Keith Thurman will be fighting Jaron Ennis. Now, that's very hard for me to believe because Keith Thurman has run away from fighting against Jaron Ennis for quite some time right now. He's not a big payday, and Keith Thurman right now is looking for a payday. So I don't know how that's possible. It doesn't make any sense. I don't even think he will take that fight, to be honest with you. And second of all, Keith Thurman was training to fight against Errol Spence at the division of 154. Errol Spence apparently was already thinking of going to 154, and I know that's true because I know a friend of mine who knows Errol Spence, and he's not to lie to me. So he said he really is training for 154. So this fight should be happen in sometime in June when is he fighting Keith Thurman? It's just not breaking bread with me. It doesn't make any sense. I just hear a bunch of crows, roosting, but that's about it. They're basically, there's no evidence of this. This is not in BoxRec. This is not official. And, I've seen this shit before. I saw it with Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. Many times, everybody was claiming, different news sources were saying that this fight was going to be made. And it took 8 years for that fight to be finalized. Now, as you know, I do blame Errol Spence for this. Terence Crawford has even gone a golden boy to try to make this fight happen. And I'm pretty sure that De La Hoya would have announced or said something about it, because he said that he will be willing to work with Crawford to make that fight happen because he needs a promoter. So, I don't know. It's just very weird. This whole thing is very weird. And why is Errol Spence's team guaranteeing the purse right now? They couldn't guarantee before. Are they offering him more money? Are they offering Terence Crawford more money? So, to me, if this were to be true, that would mean that Errol Spence's contract was garbage, and it wasn't even serious. Because if it got to a point where this is true, then that means that he must have either increased his bid or actually guaranteed or given some transparency in the contract, which is the reason why Terence Crawford didn't want to take the fight, because there was no guarantee of transparency. And he was actually willing to do it with BLK Promotions for, I think, 20 a pop, 20 million each, plus whatever pay-per-view buys they get, 20 million guaranteed, okay? But that didn't happen. So we know that from Terence Crawford's side, this fight would have been made, but there was, like, again, no transparency in PBC, which once again is a bigger promotion company. Doesn't make any sense. We'll see. I don't know. They say they're gonna announce it between the Gervonta Davis Ryan Garcia on April 22nd. Why not do it now? Why not announce it right now? Why wait to the 22nd to announce it? I mean, if it's a finalized contract, this is the best time to do it. Now, if they're trying to do it because they believe that Ryan Garcia versus Davis is going to generate big numbers, I mean, I could understand that. But it's going to generate big numbers whether Ryan Garcia or Gervonta Davis are there, because all the true boxing aficionados know what this fight really means for the sport. Now, if you're a casual, you're not even going to know who Errol Spence or Terence Crawford are, because you don't follow the sport. You're going to know the commercial fighters like, Canelo and XYZ, but you're not going to know who Errol Spence is or Terence Crawford. We'll see. I'm not sold out to it, to be honest. I do want something official. I want one of the fighters to actually say something. I want Errol Spence to say that, contract signed. I want to see Terence Crawford say contract signed, but that's not what I've seen from Terence Crawford. In fact, he said the opposite. He said that it's April's Fool. So, I mean, that doesn't seem like it's confirming this. It doesn't seem like it's confirming this. And I don't know. Who started the negotiations? Was it PBC who started the negotiations? It was Crawford who started negotiations again. I mean, what's going on here? But the fighters are not speaking. Errol Spence is quiet in his camp. So if you claim that Crawford is saying April's Fool, and that shows that he doesn't want to fight. Well, where's Errol Spence saying he wants to fight? Okay, the double standards here. I want to see Errol Spence saying that this is official, because if I hear it from them, then I can believe it. But when I don't hear it from them, it's just hard for me to believe. Okay, for right now, there is no fight. And there's no such thing as a June fight. We don't even know if Errol Spence is going to fight Keith Thurman. And then Crawford has this Alexis Rocha guy who needs to fight as well. So, I don't know. It's not making too much sense to me. But we'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong. Anyway, give us a like here, subscribe, and also visit our webpage, goldenboxing.com, for more news and stories. And I'll see you in the next video. Hagone, like the natives say in New Mex, and peace out. Float out. Deuces.